Check one, two. Check one, two. Check one, two. All right. Good stuff. All right, let me do some setup and then we'll get started here. I know we just got off the phone streams, but I'm hoping this will behave tonight. All right. I think I can turn off my computer. I think we're good. I'll leave it up just in case. Not too sure. All right, so welcome. We're taking a quick break from Star Beasts for tonight because I got something really cool today and I want to share it with you. So, let me just put it up here. This is Battletech, 4th edition. Now I've kind of been. I'm not going to call myself a lifelong Battletech fan like I was for Gundam. I kind of got into them about the same point in my life, but Battletech was way less, I don't know, intrusive or in my mind. I actually got this exact same box years and years and years ago from my aunt. I guess she had gone to some kind of convention. I'm not really sure where she had picked it up. But she had gotten it for me for like a Christmas or a birthday, some such thing. And I honestly never really appreciated it for what it was. I would mostly just kind of play around with the little cardboard cutout of the robots or read the books. You know, I never actually played an actual game of Battletech with it. And I never really thought too much of it past that. I lost the whole box along with most of my stuff in the 2008 flood. My whole hometown was flooded because of a river, and our basement got flooded out and lost most of my stuff. I think I've told this story a few times. I lost all my trading cards, or my Pokemon trading cards. I got my Magic stuff was upstairs at the time, so I saved all that. Most of my books, my comic books, went out with that. You know, so a lot of my stuff just kind of disappeared. You know, things that would be considered valuable today, but I probably wouldn't sell anything. This went with it, sadly, but my birthday was last week, and my wife had gotten a pair of Switch controllers for my birthday to help us play the Switch more, which I wasn't too excited about, but she had apparently gotten the wrong ones. She had gotten Switch 2 controllers, which we don't obviously have a Switch controller. You can see my Switch, or Switch 2. You can see my Switch over there. That's just kind of the workhorse for the family. And we returned that, and I just decided I was kind of, thinking about this for a while. I've been kind of wanting to get back into Battletech for a hot minute. I had been listening to Tex and the Black Pants Legion. A lot of his videos probably were the biggest reason for me to get back into it. But, there's other people factored into it, like Razor Fist. I watch his arcade streams on Fridays, and he does a lot of Battletech stuff. He's a big Battletech guy himself. And it kind of occurred to me, thinking about it, is that this functionally, you may not realize it, but it is an enclosed tabletop game. It's an all-in-one. Everything in there you need to play is in that box right now. And you don't really get that these kind of days, especially with things like 40K or Warhammer, what is it, Fantasy? I don't know what it's called anymore. But those kind of things you just don't really get that much of. And this is kind of an anomaly. So I was thinking, you know what? I could just buy a box and have it for my family. And if we ever want to play Battletech together, we can play Battletech together, And I was looking at the new stuff, because as far as I know, Fasacore, or I think that is, FASA? Yes, FASA. I don't believe they're around anymore. They're the original creators of Battletech. Yeah, it's right there. They went out, but a company called Catalyst Games has apparently been making new stuff. So I'm kind of just confused in general about Battletech. Like, I know the video games are pretty popular. I've heard Mech Warrior 5 is a big game, or Battletech, whatever it is. And I know people love the lore stuff because everyone makes videos. And there's tons of videos, there's tons of books, there's all sorts of publications. But it really seems to me like there's just not a whole lot of stuff on the actual tabletop game anymore. Like, for Christ's sakes, they had to kickstart Battletech back into existence again. That doesn't seem particularly, and it was successful. That's great, and I've actually seen these Catalyst miniature kits in stores that I go to, hobby stores. So they're frequent, they're around, they're successful again. But I cannot find for the life of me whether or not people are actually still playing this stuff anymore, if they care, So I was going to look at new products for Catalyst, and I wasn't too keen on the miniatures. Like, I've got enough little miniatures I don't play with, I've got some War Machine and Hordes, I've got 40K stuff I don't fuck around with. It's like, I don't really need more of these little models. But these boxes is essentially, it's like kind of like a board game, You can keep it all together, you keep it all in the box, you're all set. And if you want to go buy expansions, you can buy scenario kits, you can buy more stuff, you can buy other boxes to go with them and complement them. If you want to do that, you can do it, So this kind of fit right in for me where I want my stuff to be at, where it fits with my hobbies, it fits with my interests. It's potentially there to, like, if I'm going to try and sit down and maybe play a very rudimentary version of Battletech with my kids tomorrow. It's probably not going to happen properly because they're 5 and 3. They're not going to grasp it, but maybe they'll have fun moving the robots around and rolling dice. We'll see. But it's there as a family unit thing, so that justifies that, and I can just store it away with the rest of the board games, So it's kind of checked all those boxes for me, and I found out, like, these 4th edition boxes, they're not too expensive. They're pretty cheap, honestly. $20, $30 for the whole thing, and it's a standalone box. You don't need anything else once you've got it. You can go find more stuff if you want to. There are plenty of free publications, and honestly, the best part about Battletech is it's essentially a free game, so long as you have, like, access to a printer, You can have PDFs of the rule books. You can find PDFs of the record sheets. You can print off the maps. If you really even want to play with the maps, you don't have to play with the hexes. You can just use rulers. You can just, like, set up stuff, like little fucking, I don't know, cans and juice boxes, that kind of thing. The only thing I've not been able to find are actually the little cardboard stands of the robots themselves. That's the only thing, and I'll show you those here in a second. Um, but that really seems to be the only thing I've been incapable of finding anything on. You know, like if you go to Sarna, if you go to Morbol, they've got their own download tabs with lots and lots and lots of resources, but they both seem to be shy on these. It could just be. All right, we good? We here? Still here? It says we're still streaming, but my laptop's off. I am not pleased with AT&T. We got this. We got this on the assumption like it's fiber. You know, this is a fiber internet connection we've got. We should be getting fiber internet, but it's honestly been kind of trash. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you see that? Like, what the hell's going on? Can't connect this network. This is fun. Maybe we're just having a freak internet outage. I don't know. Let's just hang out. We're gonna hang out for a minute. Oh, we're back? I think we're back. Let me refresh this. No, we're not back. Are we here? Are we there? Are we anywhere? What are you doing, Maggie? Go to bed. Go away, Bonnie. Okay, go. Okay. I think we're all right. Let me just double check the volume again. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Okay. All right. Man, I'm really sick of fucking AT&T. I don't know what it was. Like, everything lost power. Like the internet, the computer, laptop, the TV, the phone. I don't know. Anyway, let's just try and keep rolling with it. So I was saying, let me see where train of thought. Okay, where I was getting at with all this, that game Drop Shock, Tinywarz, that I've played a few times. It's a browser game, right? I never realized this, but until recently, it is essentially Battletech. It is using the same mechanics and math and formula, and a lot of the mechs and vehicles are reminiscent to Battletech. So if you want a Battletech-ish game that isn't really Battletech, DropShock is actually really good for that. I'll throw a link back in there. I haven't played DropShock for a long time, but I keep meaning to go back and do that. As far as I know, the community's still there, or what's left of it. Let me move this over here. I feel like I'm not picking up properly. Just have to juggle the phone and the magazine, whatever. Doesn't matter. So I'm getting back into it. We've got this box. I want to kind of show it off, just to kind of demonstrate that you don't have to go out and buy Catalyst Games miniatures. You don't have to go buy brand new stuff, because it's really confusing whether or not people actually still play this stuff anymore. I don't know. All right. I don't know. I've tried looking up videos. Like, I found some battle reports and people playing it, but I just don't know how big the community is for the tabletop anymore. I couldn't tell you. So let's go ahead and get in. I've got Jupiter in the back, by the way. That's Jupiter playing. The intrusive thoughts are winning. He's got me really interested in fucking learning animation cancels for Arya. And I know I shouldn't, because I've got enough on my plate. We need to get back to fucking Magical Vacation. That's like the key thing, right? I was finishing up Star Beasts and getting back to the things we're supposed to be doing. Alright, so got some dry erase markers. Those are important. Alright, so this comes with 2 rulebooks. So here's our intro to Battletech. And this is a kind of rudimentary how to play. You know, it's got how to move your units, what the terrain does. A lot of this actually is still the exact same stuff you get out of the basic intro stuff. Like, I think I saw that graph with the cicada moving. Maybe not. There's some lore stuff, a brief history of the Inner Sphere, hegemony. There's a couple people duking it out. Looks like a hunchback, and I don't know what that is. Oh, these are scenarios. That's good. I was actually looking for those. So, the other nice thing about Battletech, if this would focus. These fucking cameras, I swear to God, man. I swear to God, man. Sorry, I wish... What is it fucking focusing on? It's focusing on background. What the hell? Oh, let me... I can't focus it in any other way. It's annoying. Just have to put it back here, I guess. I don't know. This is comfortable. I'm definitely comfortable. So the other nice thing I'm trying to say about Battletech is they have single player scenarios, so you don't even really need other people to play all this shit, you know? Let's go back here. You have all of the mechs that come with this box set. There's, I think, 48 of them. It was either 48 or 24. This cicada, that's my favorite right there. And then the dragon, which is my other favorite. Sadly, I don't think this was a complete set because I'm actually missing the dragon pieces. And it seems to be the only one I'm missing. And that's just a fucking heartbreaking because I was really excited to play with the dragon. Really excited. So you got all those bad boys. Here's the actual rule book for 4th edition. And it's got... Well, let me move over here. It's not the most comfortable thing on the planet. Okay, this is better. So this is a black and white one, and it's going through a lot of basically the same things, but a lot more in depth, I believe. It's got some very nice pictures there, you know. So it's got the physical attack stuff, like there's the all these intricate rules for jumping on somebody. Heat. There's some more scenarios here. So that's probably what we're going to be doing tonight, is doing a scenario. There's those. It's actually kind of interesting. As far as the actual rules go for the stats for the robots themselves, it's not in either rule book. Those are actually on the record sheets. So, well, I'll show those in a second here. Let's go ahead and look at the pieces that you get. These dice didn't come with it. I went out and bought those today, so they're like $3 whole dues. I think you only need 6-sided dice. I only have 5, so hopefully that's going to be enough. I know some people can get really into it with the heat dice and D20s, but you know, we're rolling with what we got tonight. So these are what you get, and these always fascinated me. God damn. Again, I don't know why it's zooming in here. Maybe that'll be a little easier. Gosh. This stupid table. Okay. So you get these really cool little cardboard stands, and I think you still get these if you buy a new box or a beginner box to this day. Just not as many. Like, there's a whole bunch here. This isn't awesome. And they have a front and back, so you can tell which way they're facing. There's actually, like, it's not just a nothing, you know, like someone actually went and painted the entire back of this mech, which is not something you normally see. The other interesting thing about these is these, as far as I can tell, this art is almost entirely unique to this edition. You don't see it they don't use any of the stuff from the 80s, and none of this stuff is used in the clan stuff today. You know, a lot of the mechs in the artwork they use today is just from the iClan and the 3049 stuff. So all of this is like this kind of weird historical idiosyncrasy with the art, and I honestly I vibe with this. Like this panther, if only it could zoom in or fucking focus. This panther's sick as shit. I wish I could show you this a little bit better. Let me. What if we do ultra wide? Oh god. What the fuck? There we go. That's a little crummier, but hey, you can see it now. So that's the panther. Here's the hunchback. Like, and some of these, like, there may be people who have never seen this box set, and they've never seen a hunchback that looks like this, you know? Like I said, I don't have the dragon, sadly. I would love to have the dragon, because the dragon, like, one of my favorite things about that is it has that rear-facing medium laser. And you can actually see that, you know? I don't know of any other mechs that have a rear-facing weapon on them. So here's an Atlas. And here's the ass of the Atlas, in case you're ever curious what that looked like. So yeah, there's just you get, I think, 24 mechs and 2 sets of each, so everyone can pick and choose what they want to use. They come with these little rubber things here that you're supposed to stand them up with. I only have 8 of these. I don't honestly remember how many it came with. It may have come with like 20 or so. But they just stand like that, you know. Fairly basic. And I'm thinking about how to make more of these because, you know, if it's like, it's enough for a 2-player lance, you know, 2-player lance fight. But if you want more people and want to do different things, you know, it's like you're going to have to figure out some way to stand these little guys up. This, to me, looks an awful lot like weather stripping, you know? Like for a door. So that may be something I look into. I don't know. But I want to show my favorite. Here's the cicada. I love the cicada. Probably going to play a scenario with the cicada tonight. Alright, so that's those guys. Very cool. Here's another one I never see. Always really stuck out to me, the Whitworth. That's just awesome. I love how they illustrate the lasers as like this like glass reflective kind of bulb, you know. This is really cool stuff. Really interesting stuff. I don't remember who the artist is for these. Maybe I can find that in the credits somewhere. Alright, so there's that. Let me put these guys back in the bag. You can look at the map. And we lost somebody. The real bad thing about these, like, if I want to replace that dragon, you can't find these on, like, eBay. Like, no one's selling these. Because they came in these box sets, like, someone would have to take a box set and cannibalize it and sell the individual pieces for that to be available. So, like, your options, like, I could take a photo. Someone actually had a photo on Sarna of that same little dragon cardboard cutout. And I could maybe take it to the library and take some cardstock and maybe print one off and cut it out. Like, that's my only real option right now, you know. Like, you don't even really need to have the proper cutouts, but I would love to have it, you know. That was part of the appeal. Alright, so these are our maps you get. Fairly unambitious. Just a 4-page spread. You've got your numbers and your letters, or actually just your letters for the hexes, or numbers, I'm sorry. I can read, I promise. You've got your various terrain types. I'm not sure how old this map is. This could be an older map that they just reprinted, you know. I don't see anything about elevation on it anywhere. So I'm not really sure how you're supposed to play that. Maybe you just make it up, you know, use your imagination. On the back of these is a blank page, which is actually really cool. So maybe like you were encouraged to kind of like go and draw your own, you know, that kind of thing. It comes with 2 maps. Oh, I'm mistaken. No, it comes with 2 copies of the same map. Yeah, that's the same damn map. That's the same damn rock formation. So, okay. Well, you got a backup map if you ever need it. And again, I don't think you need the hex grids to play Battletech. I'm pretty sure you can just use a ruler if you absolutely wanted to. I'm not sure how it converts, though, is the thing. Alright, so like I said, most of the actual meat and potatoes of what you need is not going to be on in those rule books over there. It's actually right here, you know, and I can actually hear. Now that we can see, excuse me, I have to do more yoga to stretch around the camera here. Give me a second. This is so stupid. I hate this setup. Oh, why did I do this to myself? So, yeah, like we can look at the cicada right down here. Right, and you're gonna notice that this is like the wiki shit, right? It's giving you the cruising and maximum speed, the weight, how many tons of armor it has, you know, that kind of stuff. The stuff that gives you lots of imagination for it, but nothing to actually play with, you know? And that may have been one of the reasons why I didn't actually play this too much. So we've actually got all of that here. This is the Cicada's record sheet. And you can see them walk, run, speed, jump, technology base, which I guess is a battle value. I don't know. Yeah, 1996. There's the heat scale, warrior data, so you can give your guy a name. Heat sinks, whether or not your auto eject's on, your weaponry, the heat it generates, damage, minimum, short, medium, and long ranges. You know, fairly obvious stuff. Now, I'm not sure. I've got a pile of these, right? I haven't gone through and taken an inventory of how many we actually have here. But if you get a box set like this, you have a couple options, right? You could either, one, see, that's going to be a problem for me. You can make copies of this if you have a copy machine, which I'm not really sure how many people have printers anymore or copiers. You know, that was a lot more of a thing back in the day. I took a much more cost-effective approach. I just went out and bought some sheet protectors here, right? I bought sheet protectors that may not be the right size. Riveting fucking gameplay here, right? It's a garbage stream. This is gonna drive me insane if I don't have it all the way in there. Okay, so you just put it in a sheet protector, and you've got your dry erase markers. And when you take like a point of damage, you just blot it, or blot it, and blot it. Or if you take heat, you know, you can check where you are on heat. You can check your heat sinks, you know, just like that. And when you're done with your game, wipe it off and it's ready to go again, you know? That may seem obvious to some, but this was actually an army trick we had. It's particular, like, especially with our maps. Something cool, if you never knew this, here's a little army tip for you. It's not really an army tip, and it's not really, you know, military. If you have a permanent marker, you don't need like alcohol wipes to get it off. You can just use a dry erase marker. Just go over it, and then the dry erase wipes it right off. All right, so we've got those. We've got these handy dandy. Oh, I'm sorry. These are not handy dandy. Who the hell did this? All right, someone cut these sheets up. So these are half sheets. And each of these half sheets, maybe they were supposed to, I don't know. No, these are different. These are different kinds of sheets. So this is for the Hunchback. as you can see here. I don't know if you can read that or not. It's missing the heat. Is it missing the heat? Maybe these don't have heat sinks. Maybe that's why. Which is weird. But it's missing the critical hit table and it's missing the heat scale. And then on the back of these, you actually have... oh, I know what these are. Okay. This is a handy little reference sheet for modifier tables. So this is for hits, movement costs, general locations for hits on the mech, and then your missile hit table. So I think this is actually for the new player game. Like, this is the tutorial. That's why they don't have the heat table or anything like that. This is like very basic how to play. So we've got the Hunchback. Yeah, that's what this is. And matter of fact, they still put... This is the beginner box to this day. Here's the Hermes 2, the Hunchback, the Cicada, and the Enforcer. So this is the exact same kind of setup they use in today's PDFs as well. Those 4 mechs. And then we've got some stickers that someone has used a couple of these. Looks like they used the House Kurita or the Draconis Combat. I don't know what those ones at the top are. These might be Comstar. I'm not too sure. Got that. Here's a FASA product response thing. Little postcard. This was in Chicago. Maybe that's why she got it, because it was in Chicago. They used to be over in Chicago. That's kind of a shame. I was right there. I could have gone and seen them. And then here's something cool. I'm probably going to look into this. Now that you have Battletech, what's your next step? First Strike. A scenario pack for Battletech. Available wherever you find Battletech. I don't know where that would be anymore. For more mechs, check out Battletech Technical Readout 3025. That's cool. That flag is probably more valuable than anything else. So, let me grab the books here. So I think this introduction book is how you're supposed to play for the first time. So I think we're going to go for that. Okay, so let's read together, shall we? This lady looks like Cammy. I don't know if you can see her, as she's trying to like not get her fucking legs crushed by this Hunchback. Training scenario. First run. Seen from the observation platform, the 4 simulator pods arrayed below resemble caskets. Ironically enough, they represent one of the peak experiences of life. Button up, lock down, and stand by. At last, the long wait is over. Long weeks of scanning holovids and tech readouts are done and gone. These pilots will not see the real combat for months yet, but a simulator run is better than nothing. We have drop clearance. Deploy on my mark. 4 eager pilots anxiously prepare their simulated mechs for battle, fumbling at the controls they've only seen in textbooks until today. 3, 2, 1, go. On each of the pod's view screens, bay doors slide open to reveal a virtual representation of an alien landscape over which 4 gleaming battle mechs tower. Overwhelmed, the novice pilots hesitate. Their mechs standing by, motionless like sculptures in a surreal garden. Get the lead out, people. No guts, no galaxy. Situation. By the time a mech warrior gets into a battle mech for the first time, he or she will have logged hundreds of hours on a simulator designed to teach the basics of mech piloting and gunnery. Simulator training provides the foundation for everything the mech warrior will learn during his career. I hope this is coming out. Bring a little bit closer. Without the simulators, novice pilots would make dangerous mistakes that could damage valuable material and put their lives and the lives of their comrades at risk. The training scenario recreates one of many similar programs used to train mech warriors throughout the Unisphere. So game setup, we lay out the map. Defender. The simulator has chosen 2 battle mechs for the Defender, a Cicada and a Hunchback. Deployment. The Defender is set up first, placing his mechs anywhere within 3 hexes of the south edge of the map sheet. Attacker. The simulator is choosing 2 battle mechs for the Attacker, the Hermes 2 and the Enforcer. Deployment. Attacker's mechs may be placed on any of the hexes along the north edge of the map. Victory conditions. Victory belongs to the first side to destroy both enemy battle mechs. Each team has 1 more powerful and 1 less powerful mech. Each side must decide whether to concentrate on its fire on 1 enemy mech in order to win quickly or to try and protect its weaker mech and outlast the opponents. Special rules. Only the quick start rules are used for this scenario. Use the special quick start record sheets found in the record sheet for this booklet. If battle mech exits the map, it's considered destroyed. Okay, so let me put those in a sheet, because I'm probably going to have to use these at some point. I'm probably going to do this tomorrow with my kids. That's probably what I'm going to use these on. So, what did it say? The Hermes and the Cicada. I forgot to turn that off. Hopefully that's not a robber. I don't know if it actually showed up on my stream. I don't think it did, because I'm not capturing the screen this time. So, the Cicada. It's interesting they said one's weaker than the other. I wonder which one would be considered weaker between the Hunchback and Cicada. I would imagine it's supposed to be Cicada. But that's just from like a front of like, you know, you're looking at that AC-20 on the Hunchback. So it's interesting, the thing they don't have here is heat. There's no heat management that you have to worry about with this. Food up, food up. I probably should have done this before I started the stream, but whatever. Whatever, it's not like this is professional. There's one. Very nice. So that's one team. That's the Defenders. I don't think they actually have... Oh, they do have ammo. That's neat, too. They have jumping. That's kind of interesting. Like, I feel like heat is less complicated than jumping. I don't know. It would kind of bug me that Cicada doesn't inherently have jump jets. Like, it seems like something that's there to jump on things, you know, like the giant legs. It's just natural, or that it should be able to without the jump jets. But that's just me. I'm biased towards it because I like that mech. Okay, so there's that. There's our 2 record sheets. Put this away. Put these away. We need a map. It's kind of funny. They said, what is it? the south edge of the map. South edge of the map. Where the fuck is the south on this thing? I'm assuming... Okay, I'm assuming that it's oriented this way, since Battletech's down here and the hexes numbers are all here. Okay, I just realized this. So here's the depth. I don't know if you can see that because of the glare. You see it says depth 1 there, and then kind of hard to see here, level 2. So that's where the elevations are. There are actually elevations on this map. It's just very hard to see. I think, honestly, with these maps, if they had had like a white border around the font, it would have done a world of good. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our defenders. See, this is nice. This is kind of like a dry run for me for tomorrow. I can figure out what I need to do. Okay. So we need a Hermes, a Hunchback, a Cicada, and an Enforcer. So Hunchback. Hunchback. Here's an Enforcer. Here's my Cicada. There's the Cicada. And what was the last one? Hermes. Hermes. Quick draw. Enforcer. Hermes kind of looks a little bit too much like the rest of these guys. Trebuchet. It's like, ooh. They could have gone with a little more variety on this. I've kind of noticed too, they don't have a lot of light mechs in this, and like the Cicada, I've kind of like one of the big things I like about it is the fact it can move so goddamn fast. I did have a Hermes, right? I swear I had a Hermes. Oh, that's a fucking problem. I don't have a Hermes. You're a quick draw. I might be missing the Hermes. Shit. So it's like I think the Cicada's got a good place with this whole, yeah, fuck, I'm missing the Hermes. Uh-oh. What row? Oh, that's not good. Okay, hold on. We need to adapt and overcome. Who has a similar setup to the Hermes? So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to find the Hermes. Okay, here's our Hermes, right? There's our board. We don't have him. He's got an autocannon, a medium laser, and a flamer. So if we find something with an autocannon and a medium laser, we can probably be fine with that. And like a lot of the, like this is what I'm saying. They all have like an arm gun, and they're all bipedal. You know, so it's really just figuring out which of these is closest to that. I'm a bit pissed. I should have looked better. I got this, excuse me, I got this off eBay, and I really should have paid better attention to say whether or not they had everything. Fuck, we already have an Enforcer. I was gonna say Enforcer looks good because he's got an autocannon and a laser, but he's already on the field. So I think we're gonna use we'll use this Vindicator because he's got a medium laser. He's got a PBC, which we can call an autocannon, and then yeah, we can ignore the rest. So yeah, we'll use a Vindicator. That's shitty, man. I think I'm missing my commandos too, but I don't really know who would care about that. Yeah, I'm missing the commandos too. Fuck. You know, that's just how it rolls sometimes. These are older sets. Well, no, we'll do a quick draw. I think quick draw looks a little bit more like a Hermes. Let's need some of these. And somehow I've lost two of these little stands. One's on my pant. Where's the other one? How the fuck? Oh, they're all in there. Never mind. I got them. Crisis averted. The Hermes. Put all these back. Okay. So, who's going on the south side? The attackers or defenders? So the attackers are on the south, and the defenders are on the north. So we'll put the hunchback here. Let me move this up a little bit. It's actually on the table. I'm not sure where, like, I guess right here. If they say the edge, we don't really want to put them in, like, rough terrain or something, so do that, I guess. So there's our attack defenders. Unless this is south. I wish they included a damn compass or like a, you know, anything to indicate which way is correct. There. Put those right there. Okay. So we're all set. Now where's the quick rules? I'm assuming they're in here. Ah, here we go. Here's the Battletech quick rules, and God love it. I love this picture up here. Can we talk about this fucking picture? Alright, so ignore this guy. That's a cicada. That's a cicada firing not its medium lasers, but its small lasers at something. What the flying hell does he think he's gonna hit? What is he doing? Okay. We got the playing pieces. We're not going to worry about the stickers. Got the records. Dice. We need 2 6-sided dice. Got those. Alright. So, hopefully you can hear me. Aim this up a little bit. Since I'm on my knees. Probably not for too long though, because this hurts. Okay. Battletech consists of a series of turns. During each turn, all Battletechs on the map have an opportunity to move and fire the weapons. The turn consists of several small segments called phases. During each phase, the player will take one specific type of action, such as movement or combat. During every turn, the players execute the phases in specific order. The order is as follows, with each explained below: initiative, movement, weapons, and end phase. Fairly basic stuff. If you've played Battletech or watched someone play Battletech, this shouldn't be any different. Alright, initiative. Typical Battletech. Typical battle consists of 2 or more players taking opposing sides in a single contest. The initiative determines when each side of the phase will act in each phase of the game. At the start of each turn, one player will roll. Each rolls 2d6. The sum of the d6 represents his team's initiative. The side with the highest result wins the initiative for that turn. They roll again, break a tie. Alright, and this is kind of where I find it a bit odd. The team that loses goes first. So maybe that's just to give the opposing team more whatever. I don't know. Movement phase. team that's lost the initiative moves a battle mech. Then the team at 1 moves a battle mech. And then it alternates until all the mechs are moved. When one runs out. Finishing. Then weapons. So we'll get to that, I think, when we shoot. End phase movements. 22 by 16 inch map. Divided into hexes. Move by spending their MP. That's all fairly rudimentary. They can run, or stand, or walk, or jump. Some battle mechs come equipped with powerful thrusters called jump jets. Can lift them into the air for a short time. Only those mechs with a jumping MP are jump capable. Firing the weapon accurately is difficult for the pilot with a jumping mech, but a jumping mech can avoid some types of terrain that's harder than mechs moving along the ground. Okay, facing. Every hex on the map has 6 edges called hex sides. Every battle mech on the map must face a hex side. A mech is considered to be facing the direction its feet are pointing. A mech's facing affects both movement and combat and can be changed in movement phase. Mechs can move forward into the hex they're facing or backwards in the hex directly behind them. If they're walking, see moving backwards. Mechs cannot move into any other of the surrounding hexes unless they turn. And change its facing. To change its facing, mechs turn until its feet point to the hex side. It costs 1 MP each time. So, for an example, like this Hermes right here is right in front of rough terrain, and then there's a level 1. So if you wanted to move or avoid that, you would have to turn once and then able to walk around it, right? So it costs 1 to turn and then 1 to move. So that would be 2 right there. Alright. For example, turning around to face the opposite direction requires a hex side turn and costs 3 MP. A battle mech may change its facing more than once in its movements. For example, a mech may change facing, walk forward 1 hex, and change facing again, as long as it has MP available. At any time during play, battle mechs not clearly facing the hex side, the player on the opposing side should turn the mech to face one of its nearest hex sides. That's weird. Touch your guy's shit. Touch your opponent's shit. Alright, and then there's a nice little picture to illustrate that. Okay, stacking. At the end of movement phase, only 1 battle mech can occupy 1 hex. During the movement phase, a mech may move through a hex occupied by friendly mechs. A mech may not move through a hex occupied by an enemy mech. May not end its movement end its movement in a hex occupied by another mech. Okay. Terrain. A mech must spend 1 movement point to move through a hex into clear, unobstructed terrain. If the terrain being entered is not a clear hex, they must spend an additional MP to move into it. The forest, water, hills, and rough areas on a Battletech map sheet represent the typical mixture of terrain found on the habitat worlds of the inner sphere. The symbols lost my place. Symbols below designate each one. So clear, which is just this stuff. No change. Rough, which is rough. I think the woods are rough. Usually covered in rocks and other obstructions, make traveling through areas tricky. Rough terrain is generally encountered near cliffs and bluffs. Costs 2 MP. Hills are higher than surrounding area. Elevation represents slopes, which are more difficult to cross than open ground. Difference in elevation is referred to as levels. Elevation levels for each hill are printed on the map sheet. Ground levels are at elevation level 0. May change elevation either up or down by 2 levels, as much as 2 levels perhaps per hex. Level 1 elevation is 6 meters high, level 2 is 12, level 3 is 18, so on. A change in elevation up or down costs 1 extra MP, in addition to any MP cost for terrain being entered. Okay, so This is level 1. This is level 2. So if we wanted to go like this, that's 1, 3, and then like 6. Or 1, 3, 5. Like that. Since that's a mountain that's going up in elevation. Let's see. Water. Covered by water, streams, rivers, swamps. Called depths. Quick start game. Each water hex costs 2, regardless of depth. Light woods. Terrains covered in sparse trees. Costs 2 MP to enter a light wood hex. So these I think I'll like because they don't say anything, but these are heavy. So there's a difference. Heavy woods terrain thickly covered. So dense near impossible to see through them. Cost 3 MP. And then there's a nice little table. Alright, jumping. When a mech jumps, it can move in 1 hex in any direction. For every point it has a jump movement. It can jump over and into any hex, regardless of terrain type or elevation. However, a jump capable mech may not jump higher than its jumping MP. Which I think shouldn't be an issue. Nothing here is jumping higher than, like, the Enforcer can jump 4, Armies can't jump any. And these guys can't jump. So it's just the Enforcer that can jump. Path traveled by a jumping mech is always the shortest one possible between the starting and ending hexes. If the path crosses an elevation higher than the mech's jumping MP, then the mech cannot make the jump. So I'm assuming, like, if this guy was here, right? Well, we'll put him here. And he wanted to jump to here, he couldn't make it because it's only 4. So you go 1, 3, and then I guess 4. I don't know. Well, this is level 3. That's actually higher. So maybe he couldn't make that. I don't know. We'll just have to try it. The path travel is always shortest. Mechs, somewhere one possible path. Player declares the path he's taking. A jumping mech can land facing any direction they choose, regardless of original facing. That's interesting. Okay, moving backwards. A walking battle mech can move backwards into a hex directly behind it if it came at the same cost as moving forward. May not run backwards. So I guess you have to declare if you're going to walk or run first. Okay, line of sight. For one mech to fire another, mechs must be able to see the intended target. You can see a target of intervening terrain on the map sheet. So the line of sight. Certain terrain features can obstruct mech's line of sight. If it's blocked, no line of sight is possible. Players check line of sight by laying a straight edge, such as a piece of paper or ruler, on the map sheet from the center of the attacker in hex to the center of the target's hex. Any strategies across any hex that crosses the straight edge is the attacker's line of sight. If it's lined up directly bordered between 2 hexes, players controlling a target mech chooses which hex. Okay. Mechs in joining hex always have the same line of sight as one another. Mechs occupying hexes along the line of sight between an attacker and a target do not block line of sight. That's interesting. The hexes in which the attacker and defender are standing do not count for determining line of sight. Alright. Hills. All terrain has an elevation. If the hex is not marked with an elevation 0. Because battle mechs are tall, a standing mech is considered 1 elevation higher than the terrain on which it's standing. So these guys are at terrain 1. Alright. If any intervening terrain is higher than both the attacking and defending mechs, line of sight is blocked. So that would be this stuff over here, which really isn't that big a deal. They've got, it's the same, actually, looking at it, it's just mirrored across the middle here. So it's just this. Oops. Whoops, killed them. Yeah. Alright, firing arcs, we don't need to worry about that right now. Okay, I think we've got enough going here to set up. We'll get the damage when we actually hit that. Okay. So, let's get set back up again. He's backwards. Let me get a cup of water too. I'm kind of, my throat's parched and my knees hurt, and I'm old and cranky and dying and all that good shit. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll initiative. So we're gonna roll for the defenders first. They got a 9. And then for the attackers, we're gonna roll in here because it's a little bit quieter. I want to wake the kids up. Stickers be gone. I got a 7. All right. So the attacker are going to move first. Let's see here. So the enforcer can run or walk 4, run 6, jump 4. And the Hermes can run, walk 6, jump 9. Or, I'm sorry, walk 6, run 9. Let's see here. So between these two guys, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hex. No one here. Let's see. The enforcer. Okay. So the enforcer has a long range of 15 on his autocannon 10 and his large laser. The Hermes has a range of 18 for long range on his autocannon 5. So potentially they could move up and take a pot shot. So we might try that here. So I think we're going to walk the Hermes to up 6. I think that's a good bet here. Okay, so that's heavy. No, that's light and that's rough. And that's 1 elevation up. So no matter which way we go, we're going to spend 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think we're just going to leave him like that, because we can't go anywhere else now. So he walked up 5. Alright, now let's move our cicada. The cicada can walk 8, which is what I love about it. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6, 7, 8. You know, that way, I guess. I don't know. Alright, now the enforcer is going to move probably 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the hunchback I don't think can do anything. Yeah, all his long ranges are 9. This is a fucking horrid team. Yeah, he can move 4. So, you know what? He's gonna turn. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's gonna hide back here. I think that puts him out of line of sight for everybody. So it's just Cicada right now, who can get shot by anything. Okay, let me get my book. Let's put the dice box up here. Oh, you can see the mic. I didn't realize you could see the mic. Here's my mic. It's the thing I've been talking into this whole time. I don't know why I said that. It's kind of obvious. Alright, so we've done our initiative, we've done our movement. Now we can start worrying about firing the weapons. Weapon attack phase. Players resolve all weapons fired during this phase. They also record any damage inflicted by these attacks on the damaged mech's record sheet. The side that lost the initiative for the turn chooses the battle mech to fire its weapons first. The player controlling that mech declares any attacks he plans to make by stating which weapons will be used against the target. Player then resolves the attack as described in combat page 7. And the side that won declares weapons fire on one of its mechs. So we do the same thing. Okay. Seems to me like you almost want to lose an initiative. I don't know. That seems odd. Okay. So, the attackers are going to fire first. The Cicada is the only real target because I think no one can see the hunchback right now, right? Because if you do, let's do the straight edge thing. Like, there's a level 2 hill between the Hermes and the hunchback, and yeah, there's a level 2. So this hill and this hill is blocking everything. So they can only fire at the Cicada. Alright, so how far away are they? They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. I guess we do need to read the thing about firing arcs, don't we? He has a large laser in his left arm. Which is this one. Can he shoot with that? Okay. So we're looking at the left arm arc. Flip it upside down. So if I'm reading this correctly, because he's basically facing almost perfectly oriented. So this way, this line would be the furthest the left arm can fire. So I don't think he can actually fire that. Right? Is that what I'm understanding? Weapons mounted in the left arm may fire into the diagram arc. Shows boundaries. Let me go back and read this actual paragraph here. Okay. Once it's been determined, the attackers have line of sight, the intended target. Players check the firing arcs, battle mech's weapons to see weapons can be brought to bear on the target. Note the firing arcs described below have no maximum range. The lines define their boundaries, extend from the firing mech to the edge of the playing area. They can see each other, right? Yeah, there's no There's nothing blocking. Okay. Weapons mounted at 3 forward torso locations. The legs, the head may only fire forward. Okay, but the right should be fine. Let me look at this one more time here. No, maybe he can shoot that. Uh-oh. Ah, shit. We're going to have to wrap this up soon. My phone's about to die. Damn, I had 86 at the start of this. It only lasted an hour. Okay. You know, we're just going to say he can fire it. So, we're going to shoot the autocannon 10, the large laser. We're going to shoot both of those at the cicada. All right. We're on short range. So that's +2. He moved how many? Did he just move up 4? Yeah, he moved 4. Okay. So what we say, medium range? The hunchback is dead. No, short range. So we walked, so plus... Oh, the attacker walked, so it's +1. And then... he moved 7 to 9, which is +3. So... and I don't think... this wood grid right here may intervene, but I don't think it does. Had it been right here, it would have. Alright, so... let's see here. So we're looking at +4 right now on, say, the large laser. Okay. After player has determined his mech has a clear line of sight to its target, and the target lies within the firing arc, he wishes to fire, he may attack. Each weapon, regardless of type, can only be fired once a turn. For each weapon fired, the player must roll dice and compare the dice results to hit number to determine if it hit the target. In game terms, the 2 hit number represents all factors that might affect the accuracy of the weapon, including distance between the attack and the target, movement, and intervening terrain. For each weapon being fired, player must determine 2 hit number by applying modifiers to the base number of 4. Rolls 2d6, and if the dice rolls equal or greater than the modifier to hit number, he has hit its target. Okay, so 4 plus, what did we say, 3 or 4? 4, okay. So we need +8, or we need 8 or higher to hit him. Which should be fairly easy on a d6, or 2d6. Alright, so here we go. I don't know why the hunchback's all the way up there. I really knocked him out of the park. He got a 9. So he hits the cicada with his large laser, does 10 damage. Okay. Through all that. Damage. Damage to successful weapon has a fixed value. Show an inventory sheet. Okay, hit location. In a successful attack, the attacking player determines what part of the target his weapon or missiles hit. First step's determining the hit location is to decide the direction. Lay a straight edge. Right. Attacker rolls 2d6 to consult the appropriate column. Alright, so let's roll 2d6. Got 12. Hit in the head. Oh no. Damage inflicted. Recording damage. Finds the hit location on the armor diagram and then fills in 1 dot for each point of damage. For damaged torso locations. Okay. What about head? Uh-oh. I think we may have lost the cicada. Doesn't say anything about the head. Uh-oh. Hold on a minute here. If a battlemech's head or center torso is destroyed, the battlemechs can destroy an ally of the game. Okay. So we may have just lost the cicada. Which is great, because that was my favorite. Alright, so... So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I think we lost cicada. First shot killed. Unbelievable. Alright, so. Yeah, we'll just lay it down. It's dead. And then he was like back here, right? Okay. Well, that was great. I like my cicada. Yeah, he only had 9 hit points in his head. He's out. He's toast. Fried on the first shot. Okay. And I think no one else can fire, so that's it. Let's go back to initiative again. So we're going to roll initiative for defenders. They got a 7. Attackers got a 5. So defenders get it again. Gonna have to wrap this up quick, so let's see, we'll move the Hermes first. Six. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I think we're going to jump the enforcer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and orient him. This. Oh wait, no shit. We're supposed to move the hunchback first. Is that level 2? I think he's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I don't think anyone can fire because he's still hiding behind the mountain. Yeah, so we're gonna roll again for initiative. So I got 11. He keeps rolling high on these initiative rolls. And 9. Okay. So they're gonna go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and I think he's just going to jump again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's how jumping is working. Okay. Oh, and then the hunchback's got to move. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get up and close that AC 20. Okay. Here we go. Firing this time. So everyone's well within close range, I think, right now. Oh, fuck. So the Hermes 2. Oh, that's the wrong sheet. The Hermes 2 is at did I do that right? Okay. His autocannon 5 is within short. His medium laser within medium because at 4 right now. And then the flamer is in long, so I'm probably not going to follow with that. Okay, so he's going to fire with his autocannon 5 first. So let's see, he moved all 6, so he walked up. That's 1. He's at short range with 0. His opponent walked 4, which is 1. So plus 2. So he needs a 6 or higher. He hits, and he hits 7. Left torso. So from front back, it is the center torso. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These markers are a bit thick. Kind of having a hard time marking those. Okay, so next he's going to fire his medium laser at medium. No, he's at short still too. Okay, so I think it's still 6. Does it have to be above? What happens if it's equal? Equal or greater. Okay, yeah, so it's equal. So he hits. Roll for location. 8. So he hits the left torso this time. And that is for 5 damage as well. Use my marker. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Oh, God, my knees. Give me a second here. I'm trying to wrap this up as quick as possible. Ah. Okay. So that's all we're going to shoot with. We're going to pass on the flamer for right now. So Hermes, or the Hunchback, took a little bit of damage, but he's standing strong, unlike his Cicada buddy, which is toast. In fact, we're just going to put him out here. So the Hunchback now has an autocannon 20, a medium laser, and 2 medium lasers. Okay, so we're going to start with the autocannon. So let's see. They're at short range. He walked, and his opponent moved how much? That's the Hermes, right? 6. which is +2. So he needs a 7. And he misses. Got 4. All right, so medium lasers also need 7. Misses again. And last medium laser misses again. Wow, whiffed completely. For the sake of brevity, we're going to say that Enforcer can hit. Or he's within line of sight. So we're going to start with the autocannon 10. Let's see, he jumped. What does jumping? Okay. Jumped is +3. He's at short range. And the target moved 4. So he's going to need an 8 or higher. And he got it. So he's going to hit. We'll just say that's from the left side. So he got center torso. He did 10 damage to the center torso, which is a lot of damage. Hunchback's kind of tanky, though. Hold on, I might have to do this off camera. These are 8 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that center torso is filling up. All right, next, the large laser, which I think is still 8, right? Nope, he misses that. And then, what was the last one he had? Small laser. Yeah, he's out of range for that. Fuck it. Okay. So the Hermes ain't doing so hot here. He missed all his shots. He's starting to smoke from the center torso, but I guess he's still hanging in there. Oh, shit. I may have done this wrong. So I just realized there's the armor and then the internal structure. That cicada probably lived. Fuck. Oh, well. Live and learn, right? Live and learn. I think my phone is about to die. That was just a very rudimentary... This whole thing has just kind of been a demonstration of what you get out of the 4th edition box. Like I said, if you want a box of your own, they're like between $20 and $30 on eBay right now. Pretty affordable in my opinion for a complete box. Your mileage will vary like mine did. You may not get everything in the box you need. But barring you get all of the little stand-up cutouts, you should have everything you need to play. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more, like if you want me to set up this again and actually try it and finish it this time instead of like rushing it because I'm out of battery, let me know. I'm always happy to play. Have any questions, comments, concerns? Don't hesitate.